Hello, my beautiful people. There's this very interesting news that came out from Ekiti State. Nothing less than 50 to 100 cows have not been arrested, but they have been gunned down. As you can see on my screen over there, can you see the signage with the gun symbol, right? Pointing at the cow. The Ekiti governor is not joking. They are not ready to play politics with their farm production. I have now finally come to the realization that if Fulani'S with their cows, if they are having sway in your state, it is simply because your state governors are compromised. It is simple. Another testimony to this, my assertion, is the Abia state. What's the distance of Abia to Imo State? What's the distance of Abia to Anambra State? You will understand that what Ekiti State is doing is the same line Alex Oti is following in Abia State. I'm going to talk about the Abia State local vigilantes, right, against Fulani'S that was just launched, I think around May. I'm going to talk about that. But before I go into Alex Oti, you see, I am so happy and I am so proud that the current governor of Ekiti State, who immediately responded when the Fulani'S killed two monarchs along the axis of Ekiti into Kogi South. He said there will never, ever be one single soul lost to any Fulani'S anymore. That all the Ekiti State farmlands will have Amotekun. They will have good weapons, right? And I think Ekiti State has been able to bypass some regulations, because what I see there, the signage that I see there is not the symbol of a Dane gun, neither is it a symbol of a pump action. What I see is an AK-47. Until our southern governors, like Ekiti State governor has done, until they begin to, show courage and capacity, that the federal government will not tell them to fold their arms behind their back and watch their people get killed. Look at what is going on in the north. There are so many local vigilantes in the north that comprises largely of aborigines, right? And the governor has told them that you will get AK-47, and AK-47 they got. So why should the southern governors continue to actually give excuses that the federal government is not giving them the opportunity or the access or the pass to buy AK? Listen, when your people get killed, the best thing the federal government does is release a communique. The best thing they do is to just tell us, we condole with the people that have lost. Look at what happened with our soldiers. In Zamfara, look at what happened with our soldiers. Look at what happened to our soldiers in Niger. In Niger, nothing less than 46 soldiers were died. By what? By these bandits, right? These bandits that are largely Fulani'S. So you see why I keep saying that if insecurity fester in your state, if insecurity fester within your local government, if insecurity fester in Nigeria as it stands, it is because the government, the state government, the local government are all complicit. At this stage, I must give my kudos to the Ekiti State governor for him to lead by courage and conviction. He understands perfectly well that there is no need for any cow, whatever name you want to give it, whether cow, whether sunya, whatever, for them to roam around in farms, most especially economic farms. If these cattle are in the bush, forests that are approved by the governor, okay, because the state governor is not Banji, BOA also, is not saying like you can just go into any bush. No. He has taken it upon himself that for the reason that he lost two monarchs, right, unprovoked, you went into their palace, you shot them, killed them in cold blood. Some of them were even dragged, right? They were dragged with the blood splashed everywhere. From that very moment, the governor of Ekiti State swore. And you know why I love this man so much? He has been silent. He's a silent executioner. It's not that one, those people that will go into the social media. You guys will recall what Samuel Otom was doing. Samuel Otom was crying from one social media to the other. Look at this issue of Benue. This issue of Benue now, the Father Alia crying from Arise to AIT, from AIT crying here and there. Just give the freaking order. Any cattle that is roaming around without an approval, without access granted, you are not roaming around in the places that are being what? Maybe regulated, maybe gazetted by the state government, or you are not roaming in bushes that have been agreed by the people. Do your grazing here, or give that order by the Benue governor that they should be gone down. Equip your vigilantes or your local police. Make sure that they do what they need to do. Immediately you start seeing peace. But of course, the Father Alia is so scared, because maybe they have something to hold him for. This is why I said, ensure that you in your state vote for the people that were not put in place by these oligarchs, by these powers that be. Why do you think an Uzodinma cannot stand a chance and look into the face of the Fulani marauding herders? We heard that there was an explosion by a landmine. I mean, as reported, these are just propagandas. We know what happened. Probably a suicide bomber went to the market square and killed nothing less than 7 persons. The issue of Fulani'S trying to take over some boundaries in Imo State has been, these things has been just flying around. We are listening to the news, and there's absolutely nothing Uzodinma can do about it. In fact, it got to a point Uzodinma said he wanted to create a locality for Northerners who were IDPs. I mean, I saw that video that time. I saw that report, and I said, Uzodinma, did he consult the real owners of the land? Because you are a state governor, you are only being entrusted for a moment to rule the state. And you are there as a servant leader, not a master. You are not the owner of the state. If, for example, in Imo State, they said they do not want mosques to be built, and the people go into a vote, right? That state is a federating unit. Uzodinma cannot then go ahead to be approving the biggest mosque in the southeast. It is an affront on the right of the people. It's an affront on the right of the people of that state. And let me prove to you why it is important for Uzodinma and or any other southern states, why they must respect the demands, the cries, the needs, and what their people actually want. Take a look at what the North do. The North will tell you that in my state, you cannot have your hair as a woman left open. That if you leave your hair open, if we catch you, our Islamic police that are popularly known as Isba will trash the hell out of you. And they do it. I have seen so many Yoruba women, so many Igbo women that, they get actually beaten. Like, better cane. Like, some of them, they collect 50 cane. 100. If you don't want that, then you pay a fine of maybe 200k. Now, imagine a situation whereby, because you're an IDP person, God forbid, but I'm just saying, as an IDP, maybe in my state, in somewhere around south, we were displaced due to whatever reasons, maybe earthquake, maybe fire, maybe erosion, maybe just anything, and then we now decided to seek refuge in the north. Our way of life here in the south, which has always been, our women, they can leave their hair open, they can tint their hair. Our ladies might decide to wear just jump skirt, whatever, anything they like to wear. So what the northern states would do is, they will not tell me that, hey, no. They will tell us, we can accept you, but you will key into our moral codes. Our moral codes, which are what explicitly spelled out. You cannot take alcohol, you cannot smoke igbo, you guys cannot be hugging yourself in the public, you guys cannot, a male and a female cannot take a bike. If you do that, then you understand that our Sharia police will actually flog you, the guy and the woman, 100 strokes each. You see why I am so hell-bent, I'm so focused, why I keep saying that if insecurity persists in your state, my people, your governor should be held responsible. Yes, because your governor will, if he is capable, he will not be at peace with the president. I'm telling you. If your governor wants to work and he begins to establish local vigilantes, he equips them, he will go and buy weapons that they can use to face these usurpers, land grabbers, blood-sucking Fulani'S. He will buy those weapons and he will commission those guys and they go out there. The governor or the federal government or the Nigerian army will react. They'll be like, who gave you the access? Who told you to get the AK-47? The governor will not tell them that, listen, my people are getting killed. I mean, this is what the Zamfara people did. So I'm not saying anything out of thin air. I am not saying anything that has not been practiced. I'm so proud of those Hausa local vigilantes in Zamfara who were able to unalive the two topmost leader of the Fulani militias, actually putting fear that have grabbed about 60% of Zamfara state. Just the local vigilantes were the one that were able to do it. The Nigerian army couldn't do it. The Nigerian army have always said, well, we cannot catch him. I am sure if the Nigerian army do not interfere, right, in the manhunt of Bello Turji, who just recently killed nothing less than, I think, about 26 soldiers and civilian JTF, right? The DSA went into the operation without the information and intent to tell the Nigerian army. However, Bello Turji has infiltrated even the DSS. Those local vigilantes must understand that they are the only solution. That's it. If my state governor wants local insecurity to end, he will. All he needs to do is call the local boys, empower them, provide them properly, and don't give them crumbs. You have to pay them well. You cannot give someone a gun and then you are paying him 50,000. He will begin to think like a thief, because he understands that he has the weapon to coerce people into his own will. So they must be paid very well. They must be paid just as sufficient as they need. Those Zamfara state vigilantes, I heard that the governor is paying them nothing less than 150,000 in Zamfara. I mean, what is the cost of living there? The cost of living in Zamfara is extremely cheap and low. 2-bedroom flat in Zamfara, you can get it for as low as 300,000, right? That means a 2-month salary will get him a 2-bedroom flat with POP. In Lagos State, a 2-bedroom flat will take you nothing less than 1 million to 1.5 million. So what that means is those local vigilantes or local securities within Lagos, Ogun, or generally Southwest, they shouldn't be paid nothing less than 300 to 350,000. It's as simple as that. So that what they will understand is they will put their heart, their might, and their sincerity in their job. But you see, the governors, the federal government are the issue, they are the problem. I know that the Fulani militias, they recruit people, they pay them well. They pay those guys well. They recruit you, they give you food, they give you free wife. They will even give you a free wife. Imagine. They give you a free wife. I mean, go they knock. Continue wherever be your problem. They give you a free land. These are lands that they've grabbed illegally. They will allocate, this is their own portion of the land. Let us keep fighting. When we are done, when we conquer the state, you will own this local government. So our local militias that are state-sponsored must also have all these benefits. I would quickly run through an historical, let me go through an historical story to you guys. In the Oyo state back then, after the king, the most powerful people were the Baloguns. Baloguns are warriors. And I know that even in the Igbo land, after the Obi, the Ezes, the next are the warriors. I don't know what they call warriors, but I know I watched a movie called Igodo. Back then, I watched a movie called Igodo, that they had to go into the evil forest. That Igodo, who survived, when he came back, he became the second most powerful person in the community after the king. So in every community back then, according to our tradition, after the king, you have the chief commander of the armed forces. right? And that is how Africans are supposed to be wired. The king is respected because he has access to spirituality. He has access to these spiritual powers, and of course, because it has been, wired that way, that the chief of the armed forces might not necessarily have empathy. He might take decisions irrationally because of his temper. However, he is a powerful person, and that's why you see that in the old kingdom of Oyo Empire, after the Alaafin, you have the Are Ona Kakanfo. Are Ona Kakanfo is the guy who commands the battalions, and he is given a very large mass of land. Why are our soldiers, our police now being the ones that are suffering? They will easily go into cahoots, compromise. They will compromise with the headers, the Fulani militias. Yes. Have we not seen so many soldiers that have left the Nigerian army that have switched into the sides of banditry and terrorism? Since 2010 that this terrorism became very rampant, 2011, 2012, when they kidnapped the Chibok girls, we have seen so many officers of the Nigerian police, of the Nigerian army, that actually they dropped their guns to join the terrorists. Why? Because the terrorists gave them something to look up to, a brighter future, more rewards. This is why you see I say that I commend the governor of Ekiti State, because I did a deep dive into what is going on. There has been relative peace ever since those two monarchs were pied by those elders. But I've never heard anything about that in Ekiti State. Ekiti State is not joking. They know they play. They don't have time for that bullshit. You do anyhow, you see anyhow. The governor has said any cattle, anything moving that looks like a cow that has on, if it's moving in a restricted area, not a free area, they literally have what we call free, a free zone for cattle roaming. So they have that they call it grazing or ranching area. Go there, go and do. Otherwise, we have our guns. Anything we see, we buy them. The same policies that I think they are now implementing in Oyo State. But it is sad that Oyo State is still arresting the cow. Don't arrest the cow. Read the Riot Act. Read the Riot Act for them. These are the places we have allotted for you guys. We have built river dams, water dams. Carry your cows. This place has the capacity to contain nothing, and it has the capacity to contain up to 5 to 10,000 cows at a go. So we believe that if you come with 100 cows, you have this side, the governor will be there to just apportion the land. You have this side, you have this side. Mokuna they jollificate. Mokuna they enjoy on herself. No wahala, nobody has an issue with that. But if that cow come into Ibadan, shoot it, no time. Because you must understand that where there is no law, there's no offense. And the reason is we are too scared in the South. I have seen what Abia State Governor is doing. Alex Otti has also lead by example. He has established the local policing vigilantes. These are the vigilantes that will police the whole Abia, Umaya, every part of Abia State, that they will never be open grazing. Alex Otti has said no open grazing. He has set up those guys. They have provided them. They have collected their data, and these guys are being paid enormously. I think they are being paid nothing less than 200k. That's enough. 200k, 2-bedroom flat in Abia should be costing around maybe 800, maybe 900. Your 2 or 3 months salary should be able to get you that. You have your weapon. What you are there for is any cow you see roaming in a restricted area. Don't arrest that cow. Don't hurt that guy. Just gun that cow down. Boom. They've done a lot of sensitization. They've done a lot of media orientation for the people. They've gone to the cattle market. They've explained to the Fulani rearers and herders, like, okay, you have to carry your cows here. Perhaps you want to go and deliver a cow. You're supposed to have a tag. So that you're taking that cow to your customer. Fine, that's not an issue. But when we see you carry, and when you want to go and deliver a cow, you cannot carry more than maybe 2 cows, 2 cattle. Maybe at most 3, 4. But when we see a head of cows like 10, 20, that's an aberration on the land. You are actually insulting the gods of the land. Hence, those cows their blood must be spilled. And I think this is a welcome idea. This is what everybody must understand. Whether the northern leaders, the northern Fulani'S are lamenting, they have very vast land. Maybe they carry their cattle, maybe they make do wetin they want do for that north. Nobody dey follow them drag land. Abi no be so? Carry your cattle for whether na Zamfara, whether na Katsina, whether na Kano, whether na anywhere. You have vast land. It is, popularly said that the north has the most vast land and arable land. Then plant your grass. Are they looking for free grass to eat? Plant the freaking grass. They make money. One cow now they cost nothing less. The smallest cow we go see na 300,000. Smallest baby cow. Those big cow wey get hunchback, some are 1.5. There's a cow of 10 million. So are you telling me you make this money and you just want to keep ripping us off? The governors of the states are responsible if Fulani elders continue to threaten to suppress you in your state. And this is why I have to call the father earlier out. He must take a cue from the governor of Ekiti State. If you are just done, please kindly like, share, and subscribe. Bye for now.